Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm talking about a double punishment Aston Martin have received, as well as Max Verstappen threatening to quit Formula 1. So let's start with Aston Martin, and they received two punishments following qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix. The first is to do with Fernando Alonso. Basically in Q1 he was released into the pit lane from the garage. However, Franco Colapinto was coming down the pit lane and had to get on the brakes and swerve to avoid going into Alonso. Now, following a review, Aston Martin have been fined €5,000 for unsafely releasing Alonso into the pit lane during Q1, with the official decision document confirming. The stewards heard from the team representative and reviewed position video and in-car video evidence. It was apparent that car 43 had to swerve and lock the front wheels to avoid a collision with car 14. This was determined by the stewards to be an unsafe release. Now, this is not the only financial penalty Aston Martin received, with them getting another one for an incident involving Lance Stroll. Basically, Stroll was flagged for leaving the garage with his car in an unsafe condition. In particular, the wheel covers were still fitted to his AMR 26. Now, the stewards described this as a potentially dangerous incident, and as a result, Aston Martin received a €7,500 fine, with the stewards' verdict saying, on its way down the pit lane at the start of the session, car 18 lost an outer wheel trim. Then on its first lap, the inner wheel cover also dislodged. This particular part, although made from carbon fibre, is still potentially dangerous if it hit another car or a person. The driver was not aware of the situation, and the team admitted that part of its inspection process had overlooked the correct fixation of the securing devices for these pieces. The team undertook to thoroughly review its inspection process. The penalty is higher than for an unsafe release due to the fact that the car was on the track when the second piece dislodged. Now, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my Formula 1 content and are kept up to date with F1 news. I'm close now to 51,000 subscribers, and all your support means so much to me. Thank you so much for it. So let's move on to Max Verstappen, and as we know, he does not like the racing created by the new 2026 rules. It's currently around a 50-50 split between internal combustion engine power and electrical power. However, at the start of May, it was agreed in principle that this would move towards a more 60-40 split, so more engine power and less electrical power. And while there have been questions about Verstappen's future going into the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, Verstappen was a lot happier with those rule changes and hinted it would keep him in Formula 1. However, the race said that it's since emerged that the plans for hardware changes for next year could be derailed because of a lack of support. And while it's understood that Red Bull and Mercedes are in favour of the move, other manufacturers are not supportive and want any major redesign delayed until 2028. And while if that's the case, Verstappen has now made clear that's too long for him to wait. He doesn't want to do another year of this in 2027, and he's made it clear that if planned rule changes for next year are blocked, then he will not stick around in Formula 1, with Verstappen saying, as quoted by the race, if it stays like this, it's going to be a long year next year, which I don't want. It's just mentally not doable for me to stay like this, absolutely not. And asked if he would perhaps consider a sabbatical to come back for 2028 if things improved, Verstappen said, no, there's a lot of other fun things out there. But that's going to be the video from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.